Hey everyone, Wyatt here from Winnipeg Historical Fencing Club. In this video we're going to look at the guard for the Backe-Sword from Joseph Swetnam's 1617 manual, The School of the Noble and Worthy Science of Defense. A lot of this footage was filmed at two different times in two different locations, so I will let you guys know that I do reiterate a lot of the points here. So let's start with the guard itself. So, Swetnam tells us to carry the sword out at arm's length, point sloping towards your left shoulder, look with both eyes on the inside of your sword, then your enemy hath only the left side of your head to attack. So he's talking about an outside guard here, quite extended one, and let's take a look at it here. So Swetnam doesn't give us much to go off of for stance, posture, and footwork. We get little tidbits here and there. We also have the drawing for this guard as well. So based more so on the drawing, our feet are a little closer together, our legs a little more straight, less bent than in regimental sources, and our back foot isn't making that typical L that we have in regimental sources. It's a little more of a 45 degree or so, like in some medieval sources. So we're a little more upright in a sense, but we're still nice and relaxed, still able to move. We still have a nice back and nice posture we're trying to keep. Our outside guard, our right hand's held stiffly, nice and out with a straight arm. I want to be looking under my sword, so that way I'm guarding the top of my head. It's not too far to the right, not too far to the left. And my left hand's kind of casually around my left side. So if we look at this from the other side, it'll be something like this. Let's take a look at the guard with a partner now. So Swetnam mentions a couple things here I want to point out. One is that you're not joining with your enemy's weapon. So there's going to be a bit of a space between your swords, unlike in later broadsword sources. The other thing he mentions is that there's 3 foot distance betwixt your weapons. So I do believe he's talking about the hilts here for the distance between your weapons, which makes sense for the distance that we're fencing at. So from Swetnam's outside guard here, our blades aren't actually touching. There's a bit of space between them. Swetnam says we don't want our blades to be touching. But he also says the swords are 3 foot distance, which I believe means the hilts, which is roughly 3 feet here. Because if our points are 3 feet away, it just doesn't make sense. So we're in a nice stance here, our nice outside guard. We're also looking under the blade. So that way we can't basically chop down with a quick wrist, right? I can't just cut down quick to the head, his sword's in the way. So, because this is an outside guard, it's going to leave the inside of our face open to attack. Swetnam tells us to parry this by carrying your sword over your body against your enemy's assault, that the point must go so far as the hilt, and to bury your sword stiff out at arm's end without blowing the elbow joint. Swetnam also tells us that if we don't parry with our point as far as our hilt, so if our point's a little further back to our right side, then we're going to be endangering our hand and our face. Swetnam also has one of the staples of Highland broadsword in this system as well, which is the shifting of the leg. And he tells us to shift the leg by plucking him up, the which you must do on every blow. So from Swetnam's outside guard here, this leaves my inside line open, so when my opponent attacks my inside line, I'm going to parry that out with a stiff arm, straight arm, my point going as far as my hilt. If my point is further back, my opponent has the chance to blow through that parry, end up cutting me on the face, the shoulder, or whatever he can reach. The other thing as well is I'm shifting my leg back in case he ends up going for my leg instead. So after having parried my opponent's weapon, the riposte goes as follows. With one motion, I'm going to turn down the point of my sword, turning your knuckles inward, and so thrusting it home to your enemy's thigh, but with all, step forth with your foot and hand together. So I parry. What Swetnam describes for the riposte is dropping the point. I'm going to keep opposition, line my point up with his thigh, extend the arm, little step or thrust or lunge in, thrust him in the thigh. And in this section here, Swetnam also describes the flaws of the medium guard. So this is when your guard's basically right down the middle, it's not really defending either line. And he says, he that trusteth to that guard may be hit in the head with a sudden wrist blow, and likewise, both his arms are unguarded. So my opponent here is in his medium guard. Swetnam doesn't like this guard. It exposes my opponent's arm. I can do a quick chop down to the head, and I can also get out of position with either my cuts. It doesn't really defend any line, so that's why he doesn't really like the medium guard. It's not as good as his outside one, that's for sure. So that's it for this section on the guard for the Backe-Sword. If you're interested in seeing some sparring, check out Swordsman on YouTube. Link posted in the description. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.